Hi YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Casey and I film videos mostly about my chronic health journey with functional neurological disorder. Today I wanted to film about the fact that after 3 years of being diagnosed with FND, I am going for more testing. It is, I guess you could say, like a hallelujah moment in the fact that I've been waiting to see specialists for a long time. Um, and yeah, here we are 3 years later. Been waiting semi patiently. And I just want to talk about the appointment that I had and I guess what is next for me in this journey. For the people that kind of watch my videos regularly, a big apology. I have been away for a couple months, half a year, 6 months. I'm not really sure. But if you watch to the end, I will kind of give a little update on my life. And for you, those that want to know more about what I've been up to, I will share then. But for now, I'm just going to hop right into the video. Yeah, so just really quick. 3 years ago, I got really sick with non-epileptic seizures, tics, gait, walking issues. I was in the hospital in and out testing for, I did like an MRI, EEG, being tested for epilepsy. And they kind of came out and say, okay, you have functional neurological disorder, and then kind of sent me on my way to just be with a psychiatrist and treating it more as like a mental illness. Where I live, we don't really have specialist neurologists. Those are kind of more in the big city. I'm living in northern BC, so the resources are very low. And if you want to see a specialist or neurologist, you have to wait a very long time. Yeah, so it's been a little bit frustrating. I definitely feel like I've just been forgotten about by the medical system, and I'm not really sure. I've done a lot of research and just figuring out things for myself, which is really lonely and hard and isolating. But thank goodness for the internet and resources. And that's why I like to share my experiences for the people that are going through the same things, knowing that you're not alone. I love this community so much, and I love filming and sharing. Um, yeah. So, when I did get sick, they referred me to the movement clinic essentially to see a functional neurologist. And they sent back saying, actually, hey, we want you to see um, go to the epilepsy clinic, which is a little bit frustrating because I did indeed get tested for epilepsy in a town a little bit far, or a city outside of mine. And it said I did not have epilepsy, but fair enough. Okay, I will wait to see the epilepsy center in the big city. Yeah, so since that referral, that was 2 years. I checked in after a year waiting. They just said keep waiting or get your doctor to expedite it. And I tried that, nothing. And then my counselor was like, you know what, we should really like advocate for you and keep trying. So this year, she called a few times, and then I called my doctor to see if they could reach out, and they didn't hear anything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to call them instead. And with my luck, I called them, and I felt like the woman didn't even know who I was, or like, I don't know, I told her my name and she's like, yeah, okay, I'll give you an appointment next month. And it was like a huge moment for me. I'm like, I can't believe that I get to keep moving forward after waiting for so long. Yeah, so essentially they want to do testing for epilepsy so that I can maybe go to the movement clinic to learn more about my disorder. I also would like to push to do more testing in general. I know that people get diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, especially if you have past history with mental health. They were like, oh, yeah, no, you just like stress or anxious or have trauma. And therefore, this is why you are experiencing all of these things. And that's a little bit frustrating because I experienced a ton of things, and then you kind of just like medically gaslight yourself and say, these things that I'm experiencing must just be because of this one disorder. But I am a little bit worried that there might be other things going on. So I'm trying to grow the confidence to stand up for myself and advocate. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've had like an appointment with an official doctor. So I was pretty stressed out, but I made sure to prep for the appointment by writing down my symptoms, my triggers, my history. Something that has come up for me that I don't know why I didn't really think about it in the past is that I had gotten COVID and I was pretty sick for a while, and I didn't feel like I was the same after I got sick. And then 6 months after, I started having really bad seizures and functional neurological disorder symptoms. And so I've heard a lot now that's coming out that people who had got COVID, there's a chance that they could get some sort of dysautonomia. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but POTS. People are getting POTS from getting sick with COVID or maybe the vaccine. And I've watched a lot of videos about like symptoms that people maybe didn't know they're POTS, or that, there's this big thing saying that like you have to faint constantly or have these things or not be able to stand up, just to say that's to know if you have POTS. So that's something that's been on my mind, and I would maybe like to ask for a testing for that, because I have a heck of a lot of symptoms, and it would be good to know a little bit more. So yeah, I wrote down all my symptoms and my questions, and yeah, today I had my first appointment over Zoom because Vancouver is an hour and a half flight away, or I don't know, like 15-hour drive. So to just do a little bit of an intake, we had an hour appointment. I think, yeah, with the actual doctor. Talked over Zoom, and it was pretty good. Yeah, it was hard for me to know like what to talk about because I know that he's wants to talk just about my seizures, I think, and to see if these seizures are epileptic or non-epileptic. So I have all these other things that maybe aren't related to my seizures because I have other symptoms besides my seizures. So I wasn't quite sure what to tell him, what not to tell him, and I think that was my mistake. I probably should have asked. I was feeling super nervous, close to tears the whole time. I just couldn't believe I was having this conversation with a doctor. I've waited so long, and maybe it would have helped if I had some sort of family member support to sit there with me and have this conversation. I kind of regret not doing that. But yeah, we had this conversation. He asked me about my history. Something that I really struggle with, because I'm autistic, is hearing, audio processing disorder. I have a really hard time talking on phones and even talking over the screen if I can't see your mouth properly. I have a really hard time being able to understand people. It takes me a while to actually process what they've said. Also, just like not hearing clearly over the phone or over mic. So I was having a very hard time understanding what he was saying to me. Um, yeah, that was a bit of a tricky situation, but overall, I felt like he was really great. Yeah, I felt respected, not gaslighted. I have this big fear of doctors about being medically gaslighted because that's happened so much. So yeah, he essentially is not convinced that it's epilepsy. Obviously, he went over my testing from Prince George. I do really think it's kind of funny though that they want to do their own testing. I think that a test is a test, but I do feel seen, and he asked me lots of questions. And he does want to do his own testing to kind of rule things out, which, feels really good for me in the sense that I get to keep moving forward in this healing journey. It's very important to me. My life has been on hold for the last 3 years, and I really want to get to the bottom of this and figure out more. So, any testing is good. And so, yes, I get to go to Vancouver. I'm super nervous. I haven't traveled, not really anyway, since I got sick. Hopefully, someone will go with me. I'm not really sure who. I talked to my counselor, and apparently, for people on disability, you get your flights paid for, and there's also um, some sort of housing that I don't know if it's free or just subsidized that you can stay in for medical testing, which is wonderful. I was super worried about the financial aspect because here I am on disability. I can barely afford to live. Like, how am I going to pay thousands of dollars to fly to a city and stay in a city? So, I am so thankful. It's so grateful for the resources that are out there. And I'm actually just really looking forward to going to the city. Well, yes and no. I used to love going there and exploring and shopping, going to events. I have extreme anxiety now about being in public, and I don't know how I'm going to handle that overwhelm, the seizures are going to be just out there. I can't even handle being in my little teeny tiny town and going to the grocery store. So I am super nervous. Um, but hopefully I can find someone to go with me that will be patient and I can just kind of trust. And I'm hoping that I can do a little bit of exploring or shopping or something fun. I am super obsessed with fairy balls right now, and I see that they have one in Vancouver, and I love fantasy. I just got into reading fantasy books, so I would love to attend this like mystical fantasy ball and dress up in a gown. That would be so fun. Yeah, so anyways, I think that's just like what I wanted to make this video about. I promised myself that after my appointment, I would make a video and I want to start filming more again. I say this all the time. I think I go in and out of not being sure if I want to film because I honestly just don't know if I have anything helpful to say or like if people want to hear what I have to say. And I'm trying hard to just have this confidence in myself to just share, even if it helps one person, because that is just like it's so important to me. And I love this community and I love reading comments and chatting in the comments and just yeah, I don't know. It makes me feel more seen because uh I know like maybe one person that's kind of close to me who is experiencing something similar. But besides that, it is a very lonely journey and it's quite sad. And so if I can make a community online, I am all for it. So before I kind of like get into my more personal updates, I just want to say I would love to hear about you guys, whether it's FND or chronic illness or something. Tell me if you got diagnosed with something and then later on realized that it was the wrong diagnosis and you did different testing and figured out it was something else, because I think that's really interesting that that can happen. And to know that if you get a diagnosis that like it might not be the right one. So I want to hear your guys' stories down below and we can just, keep the chat going, keep the conversations going about this because it's important and we experience it. So yeah, I thank you for watching. For you who don't want to hear my updates, subscribe if you want to hear more about FND and just my journey. This is just my life journey about dealing with a chronic illness and, having it change my life completely. And yeah, give me a like and hopefully I'll see you again. But for those are who here for the Casey story, yeah, I am very sorry that I went MIA for the last year. My summer was filled with trying to just immerse myself back in the world and get healthy. I did a sober volunteer support at a festival this summer. It was really great. I did some mushroom picking. I did some berry picking with some friends who do it for money. That was a really fun experience. And I've been making rugs. I actually want to make a video of my rug tufting. I think it'd be really cool just to show you guys some of my hobbies. Trying to kind of make a little bit of money from that. And yeah, getting into reading fantasy. I've never really liked reading novels. I only liked reading like spiritual and self-help books. And then a friend recommended to me to read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and oh my goodness, it changed my life. I am in love with this book. It is such a good outlet, and there are so many amazing books out there. So I'm really excited about this. And something that I learned was that apparently reading fantasy and all these things, if you experience trauma but are having a hard time processing it, if you can read something similar that happened to you in a book, apparently it helps your brain process it. And it's just like outside of yourself. And so it's a little bit more easy to go through it, which is really interesting. And I love that idea. So, yeah, in love with fantasy right now. Also in love with fantasy TV shows. I watched The Lady Jane, which is really good, and then Rain, which is a really good one. They're both on Amazon Prime if you want to watch a good video. I joined belly dancing. I'm still trying to get more movement into my life as exercise is really hard for me. I'm a little bit exercise intolerant as it causes seizures. So belly dancing has been a really wonderful way to just like get into my feminine and dance and have fun and laugh. So that's been really awesome. Yeah, winter is here for me in northern BC. I got a Christmas tree. This is the first time I've ever had my own Christmas tree in my place because I've only lived here since February. So yeah, that's been really great. and it's the holidays. I don't really know how I feel about the holidays. It's hard when, it's supposed to be a joyful time, but there's always struggles. The struggles don't stop just because it's holidays. So I struggle with this, I think, every year, especially since I've gotten sick, but I'm trying my best. And even to like gifting is so hard when you do not have money. So I'm trying to just find sustainable ways to get through the holidays and connect with my loved ones. Yeah, I don't want to say too much more. This video is getting a little bit long, but um, yeah, I'm happy to be back. I'm feeling inspired to film, and I hope that I stay to my word. There's lots that I want to share with you guys. I think it can be vulnerable, and I'm working through shame and how to essentially I want to heal myself, and by doing that I can help heal the world by being authentic and vulnerable and putting myself out there, because I know that I watch videos when people are vulnerable and it makes me feel so seen and so safe, and I just want to do the same for others and like spread that love. So this one's for all you guys. I love you guys so much. I love this community, and it's been such a joy to share my life with you guys. So yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.